ladies and gentlemen, Arshad Hasan.
Thanks, Adam. My name's Arshad. I work for Democracy for America, DFA. It's a pretty great group. It's progressive. It's political. I'm the executive director. At least I will be until August when I step down. But it's been a great gig. And I know that a lot of you do really great work, but you didn't always. At some point, you learned about right and wrong. You learned about power, who has it, who doesn't. I mean, you're not Lady Gaga. You were not born this way. Somewhere along the way, you learned about you need to make the world a better place. So that means you all have an origin story. This is my origin story. I was born in Grand Forks, North Dakota. In the halls of this school, Red River High School, I learned about right and wrong. More importantly, I learned about power and powerlessness. Now, in high school, I was a huge nerd. I mean, I was a captain of the debate team, I started the chess club, president of the German club. I was mostly just concerned about great grades, and I just wanted to get into a really nice college. One thing I was not in high school was a jock. I particularly hated the hockey jocks. They were on top of the food chain in North Dakota. It's hockey, you know? They could do no wrong. They were dumb and they were popular, and I kind of just wanted to take them down a notch. So I started a paper, an underground paper. And it was crude, it was snarky. We made fun of those hockey jocks and the cheerleader chicks. I mean, it's a kind of humor you might expect from some 14-year-old boys. But it was popular. And we printed it year after year, and as we matured, so did our paper. We started adding poetry, artwork, satire. We started writing critiques and exposés. We criticized the administration, policies, we named names, and then we named ourselves. One day I wrote a critique of the principal. And I don't actually remember what it was, but I'm sure it was crude. The principal came in and with all of the other administrators marched into the Commons when we were distributing our papers and seized our papers. Every last copy. I protested, quietly, politely, in his office. I said, no, you see, I have the First Amendment right to speak freely. You've made an error. I'll show you, you're wrong. And I thought, well, that'll fix it. Once I prove that he's wrong, that'll be fine. He says, no, Arshad, I don't think you understand. I'm the principal here, and you don't have any First Amendment rights. Well, I came to him with research. I had years and years of case law and school policies, and I can show you you're wrong here, here, and here. We're settled. Don't you see? He said, no, Arshad, I don't think you see. I'm the principal. I make the rules. You'll be suspended. And I protested, and he said, Arshad, I understand you're trying to get into some very nice colleges. Wouldn't it be a shame if you couldn't get any letters of recommendation from this school? My world was shattered. How could he do this to me? I didn't do anything wrong, and I knew it. It didn't matter that I was right and he was wrong. It mattered that he was powerful, and I was not. So I sat and I thought about it. What do I do next? And I figured if what really mattered was power, it didn't matter if you were right and wrong. What if I could switch the equation around? What if I could be powerful and righteous? Well, I didn't know really how to do that, so I started a petition. So this is the 90s, though. There was no Move On or DFA or Change.org. It was a paper petition, and I had to tell my story person to person, face to face. And as I did, more and more people signed it. We had over 500 signatures in the first day, including those hockey jocks and cheerleader chicks. The school, the real newspaper actually started writing an article. Then Minnesota Public Radio did a little story. Then I wrote an op-ed. Then I started getting those people who were on those petitions to call in to the school and to the principal. Then TV cameras started rolling into my school. Bright lights, lots of attention, all over town. And then from the next town, 70 miles away, it was a media fiasco. We were creating a firestorm of embarrassment for the principal. So he gave me my paper back. I got my paper back, and I came back the next year with my paper. He didn't. He lost his job. Now, of course, the next year I had to start applying to colleges, and they asked me, all these questions, essay questions. They asked me name a time you took a risk, and was it worth it? And so I told them this story, and I couldn't finish the essay because I said, I don't actually know if it was worth it because my principal said by doing this, you wouldn't let me in. Well, I got in. The righteous are not always the powerful, and the powerful are not always so righteous. It's a tension. It's a difficult lesson to learn. But you and I and everyone here in this room, we've learned this lesson. And more than that, we've learned to fight back. And we know that we won't win every time. We know that we won't win actually many times, but we know that if we keep fighting for it, we can finally make the world as it ought to be, not the world as it is now. So thank you, everyone, for doing all of the work that you do.